I feel like there's a lot of blogs and videos and people out there talking about how to become a full-time traveller, how you can quit your job and go to a warm, exotic country and live out the rest of your days there and be happy ever after. The internet is flooded with that sort of stuff. Something that you don't really hear about as much is what if it doesn't work. You don't hear about the not so successful ones that went out and ran out of money and had to come home. Hi, that's me. So if you're not familiar with me, hi, my name's Rob. I had a normal life. I lived in London, had a job, paid rent on a flat, owned a car, all the normal stuff, and then I cashed it all in, quite literally, sold everything to go travelling. I fully committed. I resigned from my job, I left my flat, really went for it. I was like, right, I'm gonna see as much as possible with the money I've got. People do ask me, actually, how do you do it? And basically I saved and saved and saved and then left. So I left with quite a large sum of money which I had worked for and saved up, and just really slowly drained it out and wanted to see how long that would last. I am ultimately really happy with my decision, and I kind of did it my own way. I didn't do the traditional routes of going to like Southeast Asia, and I really had my own agenda and my own tick list, and I stuck to it, and I really did do a lot of stuff that I really wanted to do. But trust me on this, no matter how many cheap flights you can buy, all the Ryanair £10 flights, you can stay in all the £5 hostels in Europe. No matter how little the increment of money coming out, if you don't have money coming in, the money will eventually run out. I made a video called I Ran Out of Money in Luxembourg, and I literally ran out of money in Luxembourg. Like, that wasn't clickbait exaggeration. I had spent everything in 6 months. I hadn't really stopped to think until that point because I was having such an amazing time, and I was like, thousands of pounds, it's never gonna run out. And especially before I left, I never stopped to think, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do after? No one discusses what happens after and what the sensible thing to do is. And to be honest, I don't think I've got the answer. So sorry if you came for that, but just because each case is so unique, I really don't think there is one answer. It's the same as, should I go travelling? I don't think there is one blanket answer for everyone. I really think you need to look at your own personal situation. But the one reassurance I will have, if you are currently out travelling or you're thinking about travelling and you're thinking like way ahead, what should I do after? I'm worried. The one reassurance I will have for you is I really should not have been worried as I was coming to the end of my travels. I wish I'd relaxed a bit more and just enjoyed the rest of my travels rather than letting this occupy. It's quite a big thing, like, shit, I'm out of money, I don't live anywhere, what am I going to do? Understandably, it's quite a big worry, but I really shouldn't have worried as much as I did, because here I am 10 months on from when I got back from my first long-term travel, and I'm still alive and I've been fine. The truth is, if you really enjoyed your solo travel time, you would have picked up skills and you would have been in situations infinitely more harder than coming back to your home country. Some of the situations that I was in, looking back now, I went to the Middle East on my own. I got into a fight with a local Jordanian. I just went into the middle of the desert in Giza and like found some tombs and just went in. I went hiking in blizzards on my own in Scandinavia, could have died. Like, looking back, some of the stuff I did was just stupid and ridiculous. And like, in comparison, if you have done these things, if you have been traveling and you've like swum with sharks or climbed a mountain or whatever stuff, coming home to your home country where you speak the language, where you know the infrastructure, where you can be employed, where you know people, where you've networked, it's infinitely easier than some of the stuff you do when you're out traveling. I do not know why I was so worried about coming home. How am I going to survive? How am I going to get money? How am I going to live? when I was out there doing ridiculous stuff every single day. So I'll give you a quick rundown of my situation and what happened with me. 2018, January to June, 13 countries, did most of my bucket list. Started in Israel, finished in Luxembourg, and then I ran out of money, came home, and I'm very, very lucky and privileged. At one time I maybe would have felt uncomfortable calling myself privileged, but having been to other parts of the world where people are not so fortunate, I am definitely privileged. I have family in my hometown that were willing to take me back, as family sort of should. I had a good life. I was doing well in London. I was earning a decent amount of money, and I had a flat and all the kind of adult stuff that you should do. If you throw all that away and go travelling and then come back to your hometown with no money, I appreciate that it can be frustrating if your child does something so stupid, like me. So I was really fortunate that I was welcomed with warm arms back home. I spent a couple weeks not knowing what to do, and I ran through the options before I came home. I ran through the options. Do I go back to my old job? Do I try and find a new job? Do I look for jobs abroad so I can carry on travelling? I was pretty fixated on continuing travelling. I was not done. It was purely because I ran out of money that I stopped travelling. And I was quite lucky that I managed to find another job. And in a way, it was kind of a step up from my old job. So the industry I was in before was media, TV production. I think I was kind of held back maybe in my career because I had quite a comfortable job. I had a long contract, which, hello, anyone that works in TV, you'll know that's quite rare to have job security. And I had that, and I was scared to leave that and maybe make a leap or a step up in my career because I didn't want to lose job security. And when you're paying rent on a London flat, you're a bit scared to, leave your job and take up new opportunities. But because I was, Mr. Vagabond, I'd been travelling, I wasn't renting anywhere, I wasn't living anywhere, sure, I can live in a hostel, no problem. Took another job down in London fairly quickly, moved into a hostel, lived in a hostel and worked, and that is hard. Living in a hostel while travelling and enjoying yourself is one thing. Working hard in a new job and living in a hostel at the same time is another thing. But like I said, I'd done harder things, much, much harder things abroad. So it felt like a breeze. I wasn't scared of the job interview. I wasn't scared of starting a new job. I wasn't scared of moving back to London. It was dirt off my shoulder. It was so easy coming back. So I came back, took the freelance job, finished the contract, got a bunch of money, took another freelance job, finished the contract, got a bunch of money, and went travelling again. I did what I wanted to do. That was me, but that's very specific to me because I was so fixated on going travelling again, and I was so sure that I wanted to leave again. I had my goal, I had my agenda, and I stuck to it. So it really depends on what you want to do after you get back from travelling. You'll work it out. The answer will come to you. Maybe you'll get your perfect job after you came back and you'll want to stay forever. Maybe you'll want to go again. There is no right answer, it just depends on you. But I hope this has been useful. If you are out there travelling at the minute or you're thinking about travelling, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Come home, put your feet up, have a sit down, have a cup of tea if you're British. I don't know what other people do when they go home. And just relax, just enjoy being back home, just enjoy seeing people that you recognise, just enjoy being in a country where you can use your native language and you can talk to people, and just enjoy the feeling of familiar, because for me it had been so long since I'd felt that, and honestly it's nice to be back. As much as I love travelling, it's nice to be back. So thank you very much for watching. If you are interested in any of my travel videos, do click away, go and watch one of them maybe, or subscribe, because I don't really know what I'm doing at the minute, but I will have some new content at some point. I'm not pressuring myself into making new videos, I'm just doing it when it feels right. So thanks very much for watching this video on returning home after long-term travel. If you have any comments or any questions, I don't know, questions seems kind of weird, so I don't know if I'm necessarily in a position to be giving advice, but if you do have any questions, then leave them in the comments below. Also in the description to this video, you can get my Twitter and Instagram handles, so you can also message me on there as well. I'm about to record another video on whether I think I've changed as a person, whether travel has changed, whether I found myself. So if that interests you, you can watch part 2 of this video by clicking one of the banners or the buttons or whatever I put in editing to watch the second part of this video. So thanks for watching, I hope it's been useful, and I'll see you in another video.